this fight got way more intense than I thought it would, and you'll see some pretty neat interactions and tricks that you can definitely use to improve your runs as well, so I'll point them out for you. But I think I've achieved my two main goals with Kafka in Memory of Chaos, and that's zero cycling stage 10 with both her crit and attack builds. Not only that though, I wanted to do it with just Kafka as the main hypercarry, so no Sampo, Luca, or anyone else. Some of you might have already seen my crit Kafka zero cycle clear, but if you haven't, make sure to check it out. And if you're enjoying these types of videos, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. The teams I used are exactly identical, but the builds are way different. So I'll show every single character build at the end, so you can see how I've optimized my Asta, Tingyun, and Bronya, since I know a lot of you have been wondering how I built them as well. Anyway, the big question, which is better, crit or attack Kafka? Well, I'm actually planning on making an entire video dedicated to that topic because the answer varies depending on how in-depth you want to go with building her. Now that she's been out for a couple of days, I've had some time to test and review what's been theorized and looked at the math and done some myself. So I should be able to provide you with the right information, but I'll leave that topic for that video. So I wanted to talk about the team building for this specifically. Some of you might be wondering, why are you using Bronya? If you're not using crit Kafka, isn't the crit damage buff wasted from her ult? The 100% action advance is so broken that it just skyrockets your overall dot motion value with Kafka because she detonates on her turn. And something cool that happens when you use Bronya's skill on Kafka is if you use Kafka's skill following or ult during that turn that Kafka got from Bronya's skill, wow, that sounds way more complicated than it should be. Kafka's dots actually get that damage buff, so even though it only lasts for that turn, if she detonates, if Kafka detonates those dots get the damage. So you can see here, whatever she detonates from the skill, 27,000, that's been increased by Bronya's skill damage bonus. Why does that sound so painful to say? Now, I wanted to mention the memory turbulence buff this time around is absolutely broken. It doesn't matter if a cycle has passed or not, you get the buff as soon as you use a follow-up attack on an enemy. So with Kafka, you basic attack and she follows up every time she moves. So follow-up attack here, all res reduction. When you have two elite enemies like this, you definitely want to be using her skill, which procs the dots on the main target because you get the all res reduction already from that. So what I'm trying to say is 30% res reduction is insane. For reference, E6 Lucha has 20% res reduction, and you already know how much of an increase that is. Of course, you do want to be applying the all type res to as many opponents as you can, because that way, oh my god, Tingyun dies. Of course she dies every single time. Yeah, you want to be maximizing the buff, especially for those of you who are on their way to clear Memory of Chaos for 30 stars. This is going to be one of the best Memory of Chaoses. Clara, Blade, Kafka, even Herta, like all of these characters that have follow-up attacks are going to be huge. Jingyuan, I can't believe I forgot him. But yeah. Anyway, you can see this is the last action. This is the opening clip, but you're going to finally see the results. And pure dot build, pure attack, not crit focused, managed to do it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I wanted to make a quick mention of this. These zero cycle clears, and I'm sure other people who go for them aren't trying to represent them as a unit's power. Of course, we have 3 Harmony units, like the 3 best possible ones for Kafka. I would even argue that Kafka looks better in a pure dot team because she's not really meant to be a hyper carry, but here we are, it's doable. Just kind of showing that it's possible and it's for entertainment, right? It's not, oh, these are the ideal teams for these situations. They don't even have a sustain on them. Most of the time, these are one-shot teams that you'll never use anywhere else. So I know many of you already know this, but they're not a measure of a unit's strength at all. They're just simply for demonstration. We've seen the Arlen clears, the Herta clears, I think, Serval as well. Many of these units people think are low tier or whatever, but with enough investment and enough love, you can definitely show that the characters you enjoy can do it. And that's something that I'm going to be aiming for. And just like Genshin, it's all about the supports. Mostly Bronya in this game so far. The 100% action advance is insane, and Bronya in particular with her E1 and E2 is absolutely nuts and makes team building a lot easier. I kind of have it on easy mode right now. I still have to think about speed tuning a little bit, but don't be mistaken, Bronya doesn't turn any character into a zero cycle monster. You still have to fully invest into them, even if you have a Bronya E1, E2, and you still have to think about rotations, plan out your team, and do a lot of runs. It's not, oh, you have Bronya, easy clap, right? But just thought I'd throw that out there. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for all the Kafka guides, and I will see you next time.